I still remember the day I looked at my bank balance and saw just $1,000. For most people, that number feels small, almost insignificant. But for me, it was everything. It wasn't just money, it was my last chance, my starting point, my turning moment. At that time, I had no stable job, no powerful connections, and no special advantages, just a strong desire to change my life. I was tired of living the same routine, tired of worrying about money, and tired of watching others live the life I dreamed of. Deep down, I knew one thing. If I didn't take control now, nothing would ever change. So I made a decision. That $1,000 was not going to be spent, it was going to be used. I stopped thinking like a consumer and started thinking like a builder. The first step wasn't easy. I had doubts. I questioned myself every day. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? But then I asked a better question. What if this actually works? That question changed everything. Instead of chasing quick money, I focused on building a skill. I spent time learning, practicing, and improving. I didn't wait to become perfect. I just started. I reached out to people, offered my services, and faced rejection again and again. Some ignored me. Some said no, but I kept going. Then one day, it happened. My first earning. It wasn't a lot, but it meant everything. That small amount proved that I could make money on my own, that I didn't need to depend on a job, that I was capable of creating something real. From that moment, my mindset shifted completely. I stopped seeing problems as obstacles and started seeing them as opportunities. Every challenge became a lesson. Every failure became feedback. I stayed consistent. I worked when I didn't feel like it. I pushed myself when things got hard. Slowly, the results started to grow. $100 turned into $500. $500 turned into $1,000. And once I crossed that point, something powerful happened. I realized that growth is not linear, it's exponential. When you stay consistent and reinvest your energy and money, things start to accelerate. I didn't waste what I earned. I reinvested it. I improved my tools, learned more skills, and found smarter ways to work. I stopped doing everything alone and started building systems. I understood that real success doesn't come from working harder, it comes from working smarter. Over time, what started as a small effort turned into something bigger. More opportunities came, more income streams opened. I started thinking beyond just survival. I started thinking about freedom. The idea of having no job wasn't about being lazy, it was about having control over my time. Waking up without an alarm, working because I wanted to, not because I had to. That's real freedom. And then came the lifestyle changes. The first time I stepped into a better home, it didn't feel real. I remembered where I started, a small space, limited options, constant stress. Now I had comfort, space, and peace. It wasn't just a house, it was proof that change is possible. The luxury cars? They weren't just about showing success. They were a symbol, a reminder of the journey. Every time I sat behind the wheel, I remembered the nights I doubted myself, the moments I almost gave up, and the decision to keep going anyway. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. None of this happened overnight. There were sacrifices. There were lonely nights, long hours, and moments of uncertainty. There were times I felt like quitting, but I didn't, because I knew that if I stopped, I would go back to the life I was trying to escape. And that fear pushed me forward. What changed my life wasn't money, it was mindset. The moment I took responsibility for my future, everything started to shift. I stopped blaming circumstances. I stopped waiting for opportunities. I created them. If you're reading this and you feel stuck, understand this. You don't need a lot to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval from anyone. All you need is a decision. A decision to take control. A decision to start small. A decision to stay consistent, even when it's hard. $1,000 is enough. It's enough to learn, enough to start, enough to change your direction. But only if you use it the right way. Don't chase comfort, chase growth. Don't fear failure, learn from it. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Because one day, you'll look back at your journey and realize something powerful. It was never about the money. It was about becoming the person who could build something from nothing. And once you become that person, there are no limits.